Hello, my name is JD. This is my first YouTube video, which is really awkward and embarrassing because I'm sitting in a room and talking to myself. But I thought it would be pretty cool if I showed some of my older sketchbooks, which I kind of treated more as like commonplace books, which means that I just took them everywhere and drew all the time and didn't really worry too much about whether it looked too great or not, which I think is the best approach to keeping a sketchbook. But yeah, I just have a bunch of Pokemon on here and a lot of Minecraft stickers that I got from Five Below. But this was around 2023, I want to say, so like forever ago. But I still really enjoy what's in there, so I thought it would be cool to kind of show off. I just have a lot of notes on here. As you can see, I was very adamant on telling myself to just draw things. You know, being someone who is really into making art during the kind of like 2016 Instagram era where people really were trying to push like, oh, your art needs to be perfect, your sketchbook needs to be perfect, everything in your sketchbook needs to be a master painting, master copy. It's really hard to get out of that mindset, and I know it's very overworked and oversaid, but yeah, the only way to really get better and to start liking your stuff is to just draw stuff and just fill pages as much as you can, or as much as you want to. It's really up to you. There are no rules in art, for better or for worse. But yeah, here I just say, please be free. Free yourself. And then I have a bunch of ideas here that I was wanting to work on. Have I worked on any of them? No, but that's the thought that counts. I was really into Fallout New Vegas at this time, as you can probably tell. So this is New Vegas with a bunch of random people at the bottom. I had this really cool brush pen that I was super into. I'll see if I can find it. Maybe I'll pop it in here. But yeah, here's Benny. I think that's his name. I honestly can't remember. I never finished the game, by the way. But this is my OC Ray, the courier. And then some more New Vegas stuff. As you can see, you'll probably see this guy a lot in here. But yeah, so this is just a random vault dweller here. This is me kind of writing down the like character descriptions or whatever. So there's, you know, Courier 6. I changed his name. His name is Ray. I have a really bad habit of naming a lot of my like OC characters from video games like Fallout or like Outer Worlds, just like one name, which is really weird. I don't know why I do that, but I did that here, so I kind of just, his name changes a lot. And then there's Charm, which is another character who's like a mercenary, but there they are down here. And then this is actually Ray and Charm here. I was pretty proud of this one. I really like to use watercolor in places that I shouldn't, like sketchbooks that really don't handle it well. But I actually love, you know what, to all my Artist Loft haters, Artist Loft, for me at least, has been the best at like using, the best for me in terms of trying out new mediums. I've tried out so many different things in these little cheap sketchbooks and they never let me down. The only thing they've let me down with recently is the fact that they've discontinued these normal hardbound sketchbooks and now they've made them spineless, which makes me really sad. But anyway, yeah, so this is Ray here. The whole thing with New Vegas is, you know, Courier gets shot in the face, so he's shot in the face. And then there's Charm. They're just looking up. He looks very surprised for some reason. I don't know why. He looks kind of scary. And then a bunch of pen drawings here. These are my OCs here. I was really into using like scraps of paper and what are they called? Sticky notes, to kind of put some color in here, since otherwise it would have been very dark and depressing probably. But yeah, this is another Fallout New Vegas OC, Corinne, there's Charm, just a bunch of little sketches using watercolor to kind of bring out the color in the pen that I used here. And then some little sketches at the bottom. These are supposed to be like, I guess like messages, you know? I think it's really whack that in Fallout they have literally these old pieces of technology, but they have no way to communicate with each other, which is crazy. They should be able to send text messages on that big thing. Here's some more watercolor stuff. Random robot. I don't know why, but I was on a kick of drawing buildings back then. Not that they were even great buildings, but I just like to, if I didn't know what to fill a page with, I would just go through and draw some square buildings like I was 5 years old. Cool little drawing inspired by The Matrix. That scene where Neo like wakes up in the pod and he's all sticky and gross. I actually like this one. Believe it or not, this is inspired by Fallen Kingdom by Captain Sparkles. I love that song so bad. No one can convince me otherwise. Here's another Matrix-esque drawing, Minecraft, because, yeah, why not? This is actually 2022. I didn't even realize that. This one is dated for August 2022. So I guess this is 2022 to 2023. More Matrix. More ideas that I never did. Ballpoint pen sketches. I also really enjoyed at the time doing a lot of different like eyes and mouths and stuff like that, and then, you know, coloring with highlighters and whatever. Not so much anymore. It's not really my jam anymore. Laurie Strode, best girl ever. Love her so bad, even if the later movies are not great. But this was around the time that I started getting back into Dead by Daylight. Like, here is where I had a little cringe, but I wrote a whole thing on Laurie Strode, and then I was also into The Lighthouse at this time, so I was kind of just building upon Dead by Daylight lore, because they definitely don't give us enough. Here's Winston. I don't know, is that his name? I honestly can't remember. I don't know. It's been so long since I watched that movie. I remember everything but their names. But yeah, I wanted to make a post out of this. I might do something with it, but I thought it was pretty cool. I don't really draw like realistic looking men too often, so I was pretty proud of this one. And there's another pen sketch. I started using oil pastels in here, and this was, I guess I was listening to, who's that one lady from Mazzy Star? I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but, Hope Sandoval and The Good Intentions. She has a song named Suzanne. There's more Ray. He looks different in literally every picture. These are not even the same person. More oil pastels. Some random mercenaries that I drew. Just a random like acrylic paint marker portrait. I think this is supposed to be me drawing Dracula. I read Dracula around this time, but I just wanted to draw like a really quick, very ugly looking Dracula, and I think I succeeded. And then this is a drawing of my friend Katrina. Shout out to her. Someone actually just recommended that I draw like someone that I knew, because I was pretty art blocked at the time. They recommended I just drew a friend, so I drew her because she has a very drawable face. Here's some more kind of like brush pen things. These are OC things. These are cats. They like, it's very awkward to explain. I feel like talking about OCs feels like those dreams where you're like naked, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense, but they're like cats, and they basically, you know, control the orbit of the universe. Like the different universes, they carry the planets around and stuff like that. It's a design that I've had since I was in high school. I don't know what made me think of that. I've never owned a cat in my life. I like cats, but I guess they could have been dogs or something, but I guess I had some stuff planned for the day on August 25th, 2022. This time was kind of like, meh. It was very mundane. It was a lot of like me just going outside and staying inside afterwards and not doing much other than going to work. This is more Fallout stuff, so this is from the Far Harbor DLC. There's Nick Valentine and his brother Dima. I love them very badly. Never finished Far Harbor either, by the way. That's going to be a pattern with every OC thing I draw in here. There's more Ray. Just some little sketches here. This is Felix from Outer Worlds. I recognize him instantly. I was also playing Outer Worlds at this time. These are my OCs down here. Some more little sketches. And then I was super into Miku at the time, or I got back into Miku. I've always been a hardcore Vocaloid fan, but then I started getting into Luca. I think she's my favorite now. And then just some stuff down here. I think this was around the time that, you know, Starbucks was unionizing. And then just a little journal entry about how I have this little scar on one of my thumbs. I can't remember which one it is. It's been a while on one of my old people thumbs. But I was opening a lamp and I accidentally completely just went through my finger. It was interesting. It was an interesting day. And then of course I just kept working. But these are some like OC sketches. There's a whole cabin arc. That's how you know it's gonna be good, I guess. And then some more sketches here. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be kind of like Nemesis. I watched Welcome to Raccoon City around this time, and then this is supposed to be Jill from that movie because I think she was very cool. I love Jill Valentine. And then this is actually Yakuza. Love Yakuza forever. My love. This is Daigo Dojima. And then this is Rikia, and of course Majima. I loved playing Yakuza at this time, but I had the hardest time drawing the characters, I think, because I have a hard time drawing fan art in general if it's not like an RPG character that I get to customize and whatever. But the Yakuza series especially, I felt like I just had a hard time drawing fan art for it, like, at any time. I never really could. I did do some digitally, but trying to do it, like, traditionally was just not in the cards for me. But that's okay, because I did it in this junk sketchbook, so. Here's some more of, I really wanted to draw, like, Nick Valentine before and after the events of, Fallout. And then there's Dima again. I really enjoy, like, synths and stuff like that from Fallout. I like robots. I'm not too great at drawing them, but I think it's still fun to do. I really like all the wires, the things that you can do with them. And this is a sim of mine that I made. I got really into The Sims, and the anatomy is it's really weird looking back on this. The anatomy is so interesting. I don't know what's happening here. I drew this like a JoJo's character, but I guess I just really wanted to draw the different features of the sim. I don't know if we can even look beneath this. I just cut my nails, they're super short, so yep, that's why that's covered. And then I actually like this one more than that one. This is I had a werewolf. The last one was a werewolf. This is a vampire, so I think she looks pretty cool. So more brush pen drawings. This is, Outer Worlds stuff. I kind of go back and forth on Outer Worlds. Not in terms of liking it because I love Outer Worlds, but like sometimes I'll just get the urge to draw it and I'll draw it, and I finished it like 2 years ago, so I don't know what that's about. But I think this is supposed to be on Monarch, that one planet that's just completely overrun with those dinosaur looking things. And then this is my captain and Felix. Of course, Felix is everywhere in my sketchbooks. I love him. This is me eating chicken nuggets and watching a CoffeeZilla video. I love CoffeeZilla. And then this was me drawing my backyard because I was outside and it was raining. And then more Dead by Daylight, which is actually kind of embarrassing. This is Rebecca Chambers because I bought the whole Resident Evil pack. And then I was kind of just making up ideas for like the lighthouse. Winslow. His name is Winslow. I just found that out because I wrote it in here. But anyways, yeah, just me writing ideas for like a lighthouse themed killer or something, which I think would be pretty interesting, but they're doing FNAF and whatever now, so, and Tokyo Ghoul, I haven't played in a while because it just brings me no joy anymore. But here's some more watercolor things. Spirit Halloween. More OCs. This is my OC right here. And then a little I Hate George Orwell. I tried to read 1984, and like everyone always says to read the classics, but I have a lot of thoughts. Maybe thoughts that I shouldn't talk about right now, but I just have thoughts, things that I think. Some classics I just can't get behind, I feel like some classics might be a little overrated in some terms. Let me see, just a random little sketch. These are some more Fallout OCs actually from Fallout 76. As you can tell, I hop around the franchise a lot. The anatomy's not great on this one, but I actually really like the colors and everything. These are supposed to be some people who are part of that little like scout thing they got going on in there. I never finished 76 either. That thing's just collecting dust in my PlayStation hard drive, but it was fun while it lasted. I really liked the concept. And then more OC stuff, more buildings. This is supposed to be the Fallout New Vegas OCs on Halloween. I don't know why. I think I probably looked up a prompt for it or something. Something very cliche. But of course we have the angel, and then I thought it would be pretty funny if, it's nuclear warfare. So they probably don't really have any pristine cloths laying around, so it's kind of tattered. And then we have like the priest, and we have the devil, so it's good stuff. It was my birthday, let's see, 2023, so I turned 21. Ugh, gross. Anyways, this is me drinking a Capri Sun. I don't know if that's, true to what was happening at the time, but it could have been. Some more watercolor pen stuff. So this is in October of 2022. Here's my OC again, Alia. I draw her a lot randomly. This was before I kind of really fleshed out my OC stuff. And then I have a little, like, at the time, I was really into doing little animatics. Not that I would ever really do them, but I like to just thumbnail a lot. It's pretty fun. Very, not high stakes or anything. You just kind of have to draw it out. And then, yep, more Yakuza. This is, I started playing Judgment. Didn't finish it, by the way. But this is Kaito and Yagami. And, I love Yakuza, but I feel like once he started doing the whole girlfriend minigame thing, where he started dating a 19-year-old, I was like, alright, time for me to head out. Love you though, Yagami. But, yeah, here's some OC comic stuff. Just kind of, putting, like, characters that wouldn't really be together in, like, situations where they talk. Some more random stuff. want to say I did this with gouache. I got like a really cheap gouache set, and I'm not a big fan of painting. I like watercolor, but acrylic painting hasn't really been my favorite because I don't know the ins and outs like that, you know? Still kind of figuring it out, but I've seen a lot of people do like the lineless whole little thing where they just kind of paint whatever. I thought that would have been pretty fun to do, so. There's some stuff in here. Oh yeah, this is where you can see me using more gouache. I don't really know what this is about. I think I just wanted to draw kind of like a pirate-ish character, like a Caribbean pirate-ish character. This is my Stardew Valley farmer, Sugar Rock Farm. Dude loves chickens. I actually really like the colors on this one. Some more little random things. This is my Fallout 4 OC. Lots of Fallout going on in here. This is inspired by a Princess Chelsea music video. More of that guy. I think this is the best I've drawn his face so far. Minecraft. It's a little watercolor thing. Not my favorite. I don't really like drawing cohesive drawings anymore, you know, like, it's just really not my thing. I was very much into God of War at this time. I love God of War. I love Kratos. I love Atreus. I wanted to draw a little something for them. I was very active in the God of War Twitter sphere at this time. This is more Fallout stuff, just based off a song I was really into at the time. At the place I used to work at back home, people would leave all of these like Jesus Road to Heaven things, so I just kept one for this book. More of C's. Let's see. This is me trying to draw my Fallout 3 OC. Yeah, lots of Fallout stuff going on in here. I had so much free time. I was literally just playing games all the time when I wasn't at work. Her face was kind of hard for me to imagine because, you know, the Fallout 3 engine is not great. But it was really hard to not make her look like every other, you know, female character that's in the Fallout universe. But yeah, I think this was more of me trying to draw her too. Kratos from the original games, because he was very slay. He was serving Freya and Kratos, because I think this was after Ragnarok came out, so you know they were beefing, but they got it together, thankfully. It's a little planet thing, and then here's some more Fallout New Vegas, but like it's inspired by Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds had a lot of really cool like loading screens where it would be kind of news articles based on, you know, what you were doing in the world at the time. So this is some more New Vegas, and then this is a guy eating a bird, and there's literally nothing else going on in here. I just didn't finish it. I'll probably, you know, finish it later on, but this is before I really got into the habit of finishing sketchbooks up. Here's some more notes in here. It's me figuring out how to spend my money, but I'm actually really proud of this one. I think this one might be my favorite little book so far. When I was younger, I had such a hard time finishing and keeping sketchbooks, so I think it's pretty cool that now that I'm older, it's something that I know can be done, so I can have like a cohesive track record of my art and my style and things that I do. But yep, this was an interesting time. I have another one from COVID that I'll probably make a video on soon, but I want to start off small. I haven't really made YouTube videos before, so I think this was a good step into the awkwardness of, you know, standing over my desk with my jank setup and try to record a video. But thanks for watching. I'll put some stuff in the description of like where you can find me, you know, my card and everything like that, so we can hang out in other places. Not that I really do much there, but yeah, bye.